Hi brothers and sisters in FGAC, greetings from SB. Today the scripture verses that I'll be sharing on is taken from Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 to 6. Reading from the English Standard Version, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your path." I believe this is a very familiar set of verses to everyone. And many a times we have quoted it, we have meditated on it, but sometimes these verses just doesn't click in our heads, as in it just doesn't sink, and we fail to apply it in our lives practically. Well, I'm speaking for myself in this case actually. When my leader first asked me to share something from Proverbs, these were the verses that came to mind. Firstly, because these were the only set of verses in Proverbs in which I could remember by heart. But more importantly, these verses which speaks about trusting in God was one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn and am still learning in my walk with God. So starting from the first part of verse 5, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart." When I first read this, I remember asking God, what does it mean to trust? How do I trust? And it was only through many rounds of lessons from God in which I finally understood what it meant to trust him completely. Trust means laying down my pride and my plans. It means completely surrendering to him, leaving no rooms for anxiety or worries. It meant entrusting myself to his sovereignty. I like a particular description in which I saw on a website, which describes trust in this manner. Trust is a childlike, unwavering confidence in our Father's faithfulness, love, and wisdom. And when I think about it, it just suddenly hit me that it's actually that simple. Because if you imagine a relationship between a child and a parent, like how we are with our earthly parents, where we just have that natural trust in them, when they say things such as, "Don't worry, we'll take care of it," and we instinctively just trust them. So what more about God? I think even more so, we should have that same childlike faith and confidence in him who is ever so faithful. For the next part of verse 5, which reads, "And do not lean on your own understanding." To put it in another way, it just means to lean on God's understanding. Because in this world, there are many things that we don't know and we don't understand. And our understanding and our intellect is very much limited. In comparison to God, who is the creator of this world and us, he knows everything and he knows what is best. So instead of relying on ourselves, we should rely on God who knows it all. And if you think about it, if we fully trust in God, then we shouldn't try to depend on our own intellect to understand what God is trying to do, because in actual fact, we can never understand God's workings. Just like it is said in Isaiah 55, verse 8 to 9, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So let us let go of what we don't know and let God take the reins. Moving on to verse 6. "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your path." Acknowledge means to recognize it is God who works in our lives. It means to look to God in everything and consult him and his words in every step that we take. It means to submit to God's sovereignty and to allow him total control of every area of our lives. And it's only by setting our eyes on him will we be able to know which way to take, because we allow him to direct our paths. I know this issue about trust is easier said than done, and especially more so during such times with the downturn in economy, jobs are insecure, incomes are unstable, and probably there are other issues or personal issues that one might be facing. But it's even more so during such times when things are so uncertain and we don't even know what's coming next, that we should continue to hold on to Him and His promises, even though we don't understand and we don't comprehend it. As it is said in Romans chapter 8 verse 28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. And also in Psalm 33 verse 4, for the word of the Lord is right and true, He is faithful in all He does. And as well in Isaiah 40 verse 8, the grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of our God endures forever. Basically what I'm trying to say here is that God is and has always been faithful since the beginning. He never fails us and He never will. So dear brothers and sisters, I pray that as you continue to trust in God, seeking Him in all you do, that He will guide you on the path that you should take and grant you peace at all times. Stay safe, take care, and be blessed.